Alright, so Hex Idiot Part 3. Um, I am. I was working in my yard just now, and a black man that I haven't talked to in 3 years or so. He's associated with the church that I grew up in. He's a local community advisor, and he he's on a lot of boards and councils and stuff. And so the reason why I haven't seen him in a while is because I've taken a step back from the church and religion. Um, and so I helped out in creating two community gardens for this church, one after the other. And the reason why it was one after the other was because one was replacing the other. So the older one eventually died because of selling off of land development in this area. And the reason for the community gardens is to create fresh food for people in need and people who are local. And so the church was the coordinating organization in doing this, and it was a church member's property that this was done on. His rental property off to the side of it. So uh, so I'd spoken with this man um, about the community garden stuff, where the new community garden is. Um, we he was like the head guy of this portion of the church where the community garden was created. And so he knows that I'm minded towards community things and that I'm not lazy. I can create things. I'm sitting here looking at my creation that everybody slows down to take a gander at. And so he passed me up twice before the third time, stopping his car because he didn't recognize me because it had been so long. But he was telling me that this is where the story finally starts. Sorry. He was telling me that over on the other side of the railroad tracks, over on the, well, actually, over there too. So the railroad tracks that way and the railroad tracks that way. He was telling me that the black and the Hispanic areas of town, they're starting to experience gentrification. And gentrification is where um, there is an increase in price, and homeowners, or yeah, I think it's just homeowners, property owners, can't afford to live there anymore. And so they just need to completely pack up and leave the area. And so it's wealthier people um, going and replacing people who've been there for a while. That's gentrification. Um, it happens all over the place. It's it's a it's a fact of urban life. Well, um, he wants to set up he wants to set up a council in order to brainstorm, uh, and the city is already going to hire a third party. And this is how the city works: is they always hire consultants, so that it's not them that's on the hook by law for doing stuff, right? So this consultancy, or this, I don't know, consultant agencies out of Atlanta, and supposedly they've done work all around the United States. Um, and so what this gentleman is doing is he's trying to figure out what sort of community council he can create to facilitate the city as well as the consultants. Um, and so I mentioned to him that, like, he said something about, like, I don't know what it would look like to be able to keep these people in their homes. And he told me a personal story of a grandmother passing and how it's the grandson who has to pay the death tax, and possibly liquidate the house in order to pay all this stuff off, but he'd rather live in the house and keep it. Um, and so he was talking about a trust. Maybe a trust would work out. He doesn't quite know. That's not his area of expertise. And also, what I didn't tell you about this guy is that he is retired from some sort of body within the local university, and I personally do not believe in uh, the mindset of that university and the values that they're passing people. I actually think that they are a plague on our society, and this is a much deeper um, conversation or time period to go into some other time. Yeah. So it's what's plaguing the nation right now. So anyway, um, he was talking about possibly a trust. And so I took the opportunity to go ahead and tell him that, you know, there's some maturity being created in the crypto market, and that I currently have an interest bearing account, and maybe that sort of thing could be leveraged into this person being able to keep their property. Like maybe this could be the first situation where I could actually see um, these crypto assets being tied to what we're used to in the real estate world of assets. Um, so I really doubt that this sort of thing would come to that point, but anytime I'm in the room with them, I will definitely, because he'll call me, and he'll let me know when meeting times are, or or we'll just talk on the phone, but or email. Actually, I think he'll keep his distance. It's just gonna be like, hey, you want to get on a round table once or twice to offer your opinion. Um, so maybe this is the first time that I can sort of see this sort of thing where an account that's set up to earn interest and hold assets on the crypto market could be tied to um, leveraged, whatever you call that, um, an actual real estate situation. I think it'd be pretty neat. So, is this a prayer being answered? I don't know. But cheers.